Did you guys see DeAndre Hopkins dressed as Genie from Aladdin for Halloween? Or Russell Wilson and Sierra as Jay-Z and Beyonce costumes? Halloween seems fun as fuck when you're rich. The rest of us broke boys and broke gals just trying to put something together at home. Like, here's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Bear. That's all I had, fam. What up, number one podcast listeners? You know what you've tuned into. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hey, what it do, baby?
Welcome back to another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. I'm your host, Premal of the Play Call Network. Back from a week off, but back like we never left. Don't worry, I'll keep it spicy. Enough to make up for that week off. Without further ado, let's kick it off with Yeah Fam or Not. First up, the NCAA votes unanimously to start the process for allowing athletes to benefit from name, image, and likeness. Quote, "We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes. Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full cost of attendance and guaranteed scholarships." End quote.
Listen, you son of a bitch. What the fuck's your problem?
That quote was from the NCAA Board of Governors Chair and The Ohio State University President Michael V. Drake.
But wait, they already get a scholarship. But I'm in debt from college.
Yeah, those are both facts, but so is the fact that you and I don't make people fill stadiums.
Hey.
And you and I do get to go to work if we want to. And if someone wanted us in a commercial or to sign an autograph, we'd be allowed to. But people just don't. Basically, those of you still standing on this high and mighty hill, you're losing. Newsflash.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And you will lose. So go ahead, continue yelling at the clouds at this point. Because it's a fucking lost cause. Just do it in your own time. Just yell at each other. You guys all should just go cohort yourselves and yell at each other because you're the only ones that want to hear these complaints. Oh, and by the way, some guy who earns $93 million from college athletics and can make whatever he wants outside of it told NBC Sports this back in May. Quote, "They may do away with college football in 3 years. There may be no college football. They may want to professionalize college athletics. Well then, maybe I'll go to the pros. If I'm going to coach pro football, I might as well do that." End quote. This quote was from defending national champion Dabo Swinney, Clemson's head football coach. Dabo, bet. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Fucking bet, Dabo. Everyone make money, except for the main reason the money's being made, right? Everyone. Right, Dabo? You make money, boosters, athletic directors, every single person, except for the main fucking reason people come to attend these games and spend their money. No, it's not to see you in your dumbass post-game press conferences where you claim to be an underdog for years and years. It's not to see that, Dabo. But yeah, you're coaching pros all of a sudden just because a kid can go sign a fucking autograph at a car dealership. Yeah, that's going to ruin it for you. I'm sure you'll be sneezing with your fucking Benjis and your $93 million in Clemson, South Carolina. Fucking bet, Dabo. Be about it. Oh, if you didn't catch my drift, I'm a yeah fam to student athletes getting name, image, and likeness. Whatever that looks like, I'm a fan of them being able to earn some extra money. That's the least we can do, if not more. However, let's not act like the NCAA is some smart body that thought this up, This is thanks to California passing their rule and other states working on theirs. The NCAA was up against it. And this is fucking nothing so far. Them voting unanimously to look into it is not anything. So don't play yourselves and think it's all of a sudden happening. We are far away from it. So please give a chance for the NCAA to mess this up and be behind the times, because we all know that's how they do things.
Enjoy this moment, and have fun with it.
All right, sticking in college sports, over to college football. The first college football playoff rankings are out, and the committee ranked Ohio State at number 1, LSU at number 2, Alabama at number 3, and Penn State at number 4. The first two out are number 5 Clemson and number 6 Georgia. And the top 10 is rounded out by Oregon, Utah, Oklahoma, and Florida, respectively. Some other teams of note are number 12 Baylor and number 17 Minnesota, both of which are Power 5 schools that are undefeated, but both of which are being sent a message for not having scheduled anyone, basically, or beat anyone. For example, Minnesota's only conference win so far over against a team above 500 is against Illinois. And Baylor faced 3 non-conference opponents with 4 wins to their name so far. So, committee definitely sending a message there. Minnesota will have a chance to make a statement with a Penn State visiting this coming weekend. More on that later, but for now, they're 12 and 17. I'm a yeah fan of these rankings. I like knowing where the committee stands. I like knowing what wins and losses mean, and I like knowing different scenarios on what can happen. Clemson and their sorry-ass conference will get in. It's not even any concern that they're number 5. It'll just feed Dabo's dumbass into saying they're underdogs again. We all know number 2 and number 3 play each other this weekend, Alabama and LSU. And current number 1 and current number 4 play each other in a couple weeks. So Clemson will have every chance, and so will the teams looking outside to make a resume for themselves. I am not a huge fan of Georgia being number 6. I think they easily have the worst loss of those next tier 1 loss teams, those being Oregon, Utah, Oklahoma. They lost at home to South Carolina, and I don't think that should be rewarded. I don't think it should be balanced out by other good wins. Basically, if you're a team on the outside looking in right now, not able to control your own destiny, you pretty much want LSU to handle business. Loss might eliminate Alabama from contention. They don't have the resume to get in as a one-loss non-conference champion. Clemson losing obviously eliminates them. I don't see it happening because, again, sorry-ass ACC. The one good thing about Clemson being number 5 is the warning shot it sent them. Don't fuck up or else you're out. And keep an eye on what would happen if we're down to deciding between one-loss teams and you have a one-loss Ohio State or Penn State team, whoever loses that game, a one-loss SEC team, like, for example, if LSU were to lose to Alabama or Georgia then wins the SEC, how will the committee decide that final spot or final 2 spots? A lot to work through here. So yeah, I'm a yeah fam. This shit's fun to talk about. Of course, coaches are not going to give a shit about it, and they shouldn't. And it doesn't mean shit right now, but I love it. All right, last but not least. All right, next up, Ohio State defensive end Chase Young
What it do, baby?
should be in the Heisman race. Yeah, fam or not? So, the Buckeyes' last game was a 38-7 victory over Wisconsin, in which Chase Young had 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles that resulted in turnovers, and 5 tackles for loss. Only one true defensive player has won the Heisman, that being Charles Woodson in 1997. Woodson played defensive back primarily, but also returned punts and did a little wide receiver work. The highest finish by an exclusive defensive player was Hugh Green at Pittsburgh in 1980 and Manti Te'o at Notre Dame in 2012, both of whom came in second. A more recent example that a lot of people bring up, Ndamukong Suh's dominant junior season at Nebraska in 2009. He was a Heisman finalist, but finished fourth behind winner Mark Ingram and then Toby Gerhart and Colt McCoy. Chase Young being the Heisman race? Yeah, fam. Actually, if he's not in your top, you're mistaken. You've played yourself. Heisman Trophy is for the nation's best player, and Chase Young, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, is. Now, if you want to debate it, fine, but it's in the conversation. And I really hope he gets serious consideration because this would become a quarterback award, and I'd love to see it go to the true best player in the nation. All right, last but not least, the baseball season is now complete. The World Series. Yeah, fam or not? Okay. I can't wait on this one. Usually I save this for later in the podcast, but what the fuck do you think this is for me? Nah. Big nah. The Washington Nationals had 5 fucking elimination games and somehow won them all. The Houston Astros hadn't lost 4 in a row at home until the goddamn World Series. The away team won every single game, the first time ever. Matter of fact, Game 6 made it the most games ever in any sport. The Nationals trailed by 2 in the 8th against Josh Hader in the wild card game. They trailed by 2 in the 8th against Clayton Kershaw in Game 5 of the NLDS. And they trailed by 2 against Zach Greinke in the 7th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. Want to guess what happened? They somehow fucking won. The Nationals beat Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander twice, and Zach Greinke. I mean, what in the actual fuck is this? Greinke took a one-hitter into the 7th inning. He gives up a home run to Rendon, man from Texas just stabbing him in the heart. Garrett Cole was warming up that inning before, but then A.J. Hinch turns to Will Harris. Fine, he's been great all postseason. But wait. The baseball gods are cruel and chose Game 6 and Game 7 for him to give up game-clinching home runs. Sick. Hindsight 2020, but Greinke is dealing. Either leave him in or all hands on deck bring in Garrett Cole. I mean, dude's a free agent. What the fuck are you saving him for, AJ? Game 8? His next season when he won't be in Houston? What? Oh, and everyone was up in arms with the umpires in Game 6, right? Outrage when Trey Turner got called for interference. When, right after, the Nationals hit a 2-run home run that same inning. But did anyone chirp about that outrageous third strike call against Carlos Correa? Or a fucking shit ball 3 call that eventually led to a walk given to Juan Soto while he fucking shook his head so confident that it wasn't a strike. Then, of course, the 2-run home run given up by Will Harris happened instead of potentially being out of the 7th inning up 2-1. No? Selective outrage is what we're going with? Okay. Oh, got it. You know, I'd almost rather Fox not show this fucking strike zone so I didn't have to be so fucking pissed at some of these calls. Oh, and then we get to the fact that the Houston Astros had 10-plus runners left on base.
Congratulations.
10.
You played yourself.
A team that's been clutch all fucking year can't bring in their base runners? You got to be kidding me. There's got to be something bigger in power here. Which brings us to that disgusting human being, fired way too late, assistant GM, Brandon Taubman. You know, karma is a beautiful, real thing. There's no other way I'm going to slice this than poetic, cruel for Houston fans, karma. The Nationals were up 2-0 heading home. It'd be too easy for it to be a sweep or the series be done in 5. No. The baseball gods wanted us to suffer, give us hope, up 3-2 heading home, only to lose 2 more games in front of a home crowd. And let me address something, because I'm sure some of y'all love this kid, and we just couldn't hear enough about him turning 21. But Juan Soto, fuck him. Yeah, sound it, whatever.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
Yeah, I'm well aware he's good. But I promise you, I'm not letting Soto smile, shuffle, shake his head, and grab his junk on me left and right in that fucking batter's box. I'm sure a lot of people like this kid, but fuck that guy. Dude has on-field, on-court behavior like Steph Curry and woke behavior like fucking Draymond Green. So fucking pissed. You think I'm over this fucking Game 7? And one more fucking thing. I'm an irrational fan, clearly. Stop jinxing my teams. Y'all are out here just assuming the Astros would win. You fucking played yourselves. Take your positivity and save it for everything outside of sports. I don't need it. I'm looking at you, friends and family. You know who you are. I don't want to hear about how confident you are in the Astros, the Buckeyes, not the Cowboys. Nothing. Not one. Save that shit. Say it in your own head and put that shit deep down in your soul so we don't have to hear you fucking jinxing us. Stop. Just swallow that shit. I don't care how confident you are in sports. I don't want to fucking hear it. And we done with Washington, D.C. yet? They've won fucking enough. A Stanley Cup, a WNBA title, a World Series, all recently. It's still home of politics and Dan Snyder's racist nickname NFL franchise. Stop fucking playing yourselves. But congrats to the Nationals. Nah, fuck them. They got enough people congratulating them. Juan Soto junk grabbed that. Alright, on that note, let's hit up likey, no likey, and hate it. First up, likey to Vince Carter officially beginning his record 22nd season. GOAT. My favorite little statistic will be after the new year, if he checks in, he'll be the first player to play in 4 different decades. You love to see it. Likey goes, this is not like me, but the Dallas Cowboys acquiring defensive end Michael Bennett from the Patriots for a 7th round pick?
Listen, you son of a bitch.
What? My squad made one of those no-brainer deals with a low draft pick risk?
What the fuck's your problem?
I'm not used to this, number one podcast listeners. In Bennett's first game, he had three tackles and 1 sack. I mean, I don't know what to make of this, guys. The world might be ending.
Enjoy this moment, and have fun with it.
A no likey goes to the Cincinnati Bengals announcing that they're benching quarterback Andy Dalton in favor of rookie 4th round pick from NC State Ryan Finley. Listen, while Dalton isn't really the reason they're losing, and he also hasn't had AJ Green all year, I'm not really a hate it for the idea, because while you're 0-7 and have a new coach, you might as well see what you have in your rookie heading into next year. Dalton has 2,252 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a 60.4 completion rate, and he's been sacked 29 times, which is the highest in the NFL. Dalton's lost 11 straight starts and 13 out of his last 14. He's under contract through next year, but his $17.5 million salary for 2020 is not guaranteed. But I'm more of a no-likey because how many different people and ways are we going to place blame in this franchise without finally calling out the Brown family running this shit show? Like, they don't even have a fucking indoor practice facility. They compete in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is cold most of the season. There are teams in the South with indoor practice facilities.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Anyway, hate it sticking in the NFL. Jamal Adams, Le'Veon Bell, Trent Williams, Chris Harris. All names mentioned in the NFL trade deadline. All names that stayed put at the NFL trade deadline. Instead, we got one trade, an injured Aqib Talib to the Dolphins, and Kenyon Drake to the Cardinals. Sick. The bigger news was Josh Gordon getting cut and winding up on the Seahawks. And recently the Jaguars going back to Nick Foles after his injury. And Cam Newton being placed on IR. When injuries and quarterback changes are more exciting than your trade deadline, you played yourself if you even think it's close to the NBA. All right, Joker, you know what time it is.
Here we go.
It's time for You Played Yourself. You already know. This is where it gets spicy. First up, You Played Yourself. NFL referees, back at it again. A couple weeks ago, the Titans tried a fake field goal and their holder/punter got leveled. He fumbled and Tampa Bay took it back for a score. But once again, the refs blew the play dead too early, and it resulted in a would-be touchdown not being a touchdown. I thought we were past this, referees. I really thought we worked through the fact that nobody came to see you and nobody came to hear your whistles too early. But evidently not. Next up, he's back like he never left.
What it do, baby?
Baker Mayfield. Bakes, baby. So, Baker got into a testy exchange with a reporter last week before abruptly walking out of his media availability.
Penalty happened and we're behind the chains. No, stop saying but. I just told you the clock was running and we had a penalty. You want to give them the ball back? No, you don't play. You don't know it. It's just plain and simple. You're happy with that drive? Was I happy with the drive? No, we didn't score points. That's the dumbest question you could ask. What? Jesus.
So, that clip was after Mayfield was being asked about the Browns' lack of urgency on a possession at the end of the Browns' first half of a 27-13 loss at New England a couple weeks ago. That exchange was with Tony Grossi, a reporter for 850 WKNR Radio, an ESPN affiliate in Cleveland. So Mayfield, after walking out of his media availability, took to Twitter a couple minutes later. He's at Baker Mayfield in case you want a live feed of a dumpster fire. He said, "Everybody wants to hear the truth until they actually get it. I am who I am and always have been. Don't call it emotional when it's convenient and then passion when it fits. I care about winning, so yeah, I'm frustrated. If I was to act like it's okay to lose, then y'all would say I've gotten complacent. My sense of urgency is at an all-time high. And if I offend anybody along the way, that's too bad." So, a lot of bullshit to unpack here. First of all, fucking sick. A pro athlete telling the press they've never played before. That's always worked out for athletes everywhere. Don't worry. No, it's gonna work this time. Fam, no one calls you passionate. Literally, they only call you emotional. If you were to act okay to lose, no one's expecting that. But we're also not expecting a grown man to act like a child. A grown man that's the face of a franchise and supposed to be a leader. Instead, you constantly make these stupid scenes, and a quote leader makes the rest of his team have to defend and answer questions about his dumbass antics. You guys fucking suck. And you want to get mad at your local reporter, your last line of defense? Fucking worry about not throwing so many damn interceptions if your sense of urgency is so high. Or maybe tone it down if that's how it has been. Maybe worry about your coach not being able to handle all this talent. Maybe worry about not being penalized so goddamn much. Teammates so busy cleaning up your mess they can't focus on avoiding a fucking false start.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Fucking joke. Man shaves more times in a fucking Sunday than touchdowns he throws.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Oh, and the best part, after all this passion, right? this sense of urgency. The Browns lost to the fucking Broncos to follow that up. Speaking of trash pro football, the New York Jets. This Kelechi Osemele shoulder issue. So in case you missed it, Osemele needed shoulder surgery, or many medical professionals thought he needed shoulder surgery. The New York Jets believed, when Osemele's on the team, that he was going to be playing through that shoulder injury and get the surgery after the season. That the injury was not bad enough that he couldn't play through it. So Osemele went through with the surgery despite his team's wishes, and then was reportedly cut from the team. So what is this hill that the Jets were willing to die on here? Like, what the fuck was the point of all this? To hammer home why someone wouldn't want to play for you? If so, congrats, you're really doing it. Like, what are you trying to save at this point in the season? I mean, you let a team trying to lose in the Dolphins get their first win of the season. Like, the only thing worse could be, like, do you remember that this Jets team beat the fucking Cowboys a couple weeks ago? Yeah, I haven't forgotten. Couldn't be me.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Alright, staying in the NFL, you played yourself too. Matt Nagy, coach of the Chicago Bears. So, last week, the Bears were in field goal range with time left and a timeout, going for a game-winning field goal. Instead of running a play to get closer to the field goal, they chose to kneel it and kick a field goal with 3 seconds left. You know how this story goes. Their kicker, Eddie Piñeiro's 41-yard field goal is no good, and the Bears lost to the Chargers 17-16. Then followed it up with another loss the ensuing week to the Eagles, 22-14. Now, that same coach, Matt Nagy, is letting everybody shit on his quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, without even sticking up for him. Now, I don't think Trubisky is an NFL quarterback, but pretty much well known that a coach should not let his quarterback take on everything from the press and everyone in between. But hey, what do I know? He's the fucking genius, right? With 4 straight losses. Speaking of suspect moves, back to the Cleveland Browns. Freddie Kitchens, you're up on You Played Yourself. So last week in that Patriots game, Freddie Kitchens has his punt unit on the field for 4th and 11. His team's then whistled for a false start. It's now 4th and 16. Freddie brings the offense back on the field to go for it on his own 30, a sack, turnover on downs. The story goes Kitchens had his team take that false start so he could go for it. That's right. Late in the game, he did not know on a 4th down that his team should be going for it. And then, this past weekend, they lose to the 2-6 Broncos and find themselves actually a half game worse than where they were at this point last season. And where they were last season was actually, in some statistics, a tad better than this year's version. That's right, this year's version, featuring all the talented players they have, they are somehow worse than last year. Alright, last up, not all NFL. You Played Yourself goes to people who expect anyone to feel bad for the Golden Snake Warriors. First of all, no, I don't mean Steph Curry breaking his hand. As much as I hate the Snakes of Oakland, we ain't over here wishing injury on anyone. Don't ever play yourself. So the Warriors lost their first 2 games of the season by a combined 47 points. You absolutely hate to see it. One of their first 2 losses was by 19 to the LA Clippers. The Clippers point guard, Patrick Beverley, had something to say. Surprise, surprise. Quote, "Y'all a little different without KD, I see. Y'all cheated long enough. It's okay, y'all had a good run. Back to reality." End quote. Sound it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
And petty application immediately approved.
What it do, baby?
That sounds like I could have said it. Beautifully said, Patrick. So fucking miss me with the notion that we should ever feel sorry for that team. Steph Curry and Draymond the Woat Green think they have three rings. We all know it's 1, obviously. Do they give a shit then, when everything was fine and they added Kevin Durant to their team, keep that same fucking energy. I'm keeping mine. Y'all are just not able to cheat your way into keeping yours. And by the way, free my Buckeye D'Angelo Russell. Y'all had your fucking fun claiming your fake titles over LeGod James and his sorry-ass rosters he was forced to compete with. Steph, 0 finals MVPs Curry, is going to have to deal with the same shit roster now when he's back from injury. We'll see if you want to talk the same shit when Steph Curry's got a sorry-ass roster the same LeBron had to. Man, I really hope he hadn't gotten hurt, because I really wanted to see him play a full season with this roster and see if he could even get close to what LeBron produced with some shit rosters. You played yourself. Me feeling bad for the Snakes of Oakland. You must be crazy. Last I checked, Draymond Green's still on their team, right? Yeah, the Wode's still there? Hell no. Alright, on to who you got and what you feeling. In last episode, I made a couple of college football picks and, of course, a baseball pick. So, I picked the number 13 Wisconsin at number 3 Ohio State game. Ohio State was nearly 2 touchdown favorites. I was very nervous about this one, especially with Wisconsin coming off a loss in an upset against Illinois. I picked my Buckeyes, and they sure did win 38-7. Loved every second of it, and I did not expect that margin, no. I also picked the number 9 at the time Auburn visiting Baton Rouge and LSU. It was number 2, still is number 2 now. I went with LSU at home and a more experienced quarterback, and I was right. LSU won in a close one, 23-20. And then, of course, I had previously picked the World Series, the Astros Nationals. I picked, cautiously, the Astros in 6 games. Begged the baseball gods. Should have been the Astros in 6 or 7. Instead, the fucking Nationals won in 7, and the baseball gods were uniquely cruel. And fuck everyone that jinxed it. This week, all football picks. Got a few huge showdowns in college football, and a doozy of one on Monday Night Football in the NFL. First up, number 4 Penn State, 8-0, travels to number 17 Minnesota, is also 8-0. Penn State opened as 6.5-point favorites. And I'm going with Penn State here. I think they're the more talented team. They're more explosive. They've actually played real opponents unlike Minnesota. Minnesota's a huge surprise in the Big Ten and should still have a good shot to make the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis as champions of the Big Ten West. Even if they lose, they would still control their destiny. But Penn State's just too good, and it'll be by far the best team the Gophers have faced. Then the showdown everybody's talking about, number 2 LSU at number 3 Alabama, both 8-0. This will decide the SEC West winner and virtually guarantee that team a college football playoff spot. Tua Tagovailoa is coming off an ankle injury. He is expected to play. Bama are favorites in this at home. LSU, of course, led by Heisman frontrunner and Ohio's very own former Buckeye. Yep, Joe Burrow.
What it do, baby?
I'm actually going with the visiting team and underdog on this one. I'm going with LSU. I think Tua is back after his ankle injury, but I love how LSU's offense is looking, and I am very surprised at that opening spread for Bama minus 6.5. Over to Monday Night Football, a NFC West showdown. The Seahawks travel to face the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks are 7-2, the Niners 8-0, the last undefeated team in the NFL. Raise your hand if you saw that coming. The Seahawks obviously are led by maybe the MVP favorite so far, Russell Wilson. The Niners are coming off a Thursday Night Football victory where Jimmy G stepped up instead of their usual defensive dominance. And the Seahawks are coming off an overtime win versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a huge game from Tyler Lockett. Kind of like the last pick, I'm going to go with the upset here in the Seahawks, even though they're the away team. I think the Niners have to slip up at some point, so I'm going to go with here in a critical division game on Monday Night Football. As for what I'm feeling, a couple minor things. Mayans MC on FX being renewed for Season 3. Love it. Season 2 has been phenomenal. If you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, it is a spinoff of that series. In college basketball, tipping things off officially now begins that whole season until what is one of the best sports couple weeks of the season, March Madness. And then you know how we like to wrap up each episode, my too much sense for the week, the advice you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway. And this week's advice is about turning off the outside noise and focusing on the present. You know, there are a lot of things that can potentially stress us out in life, but it's about how you look at those things. A lot of things that stress us out are good problems to have, but they can be debilitating if you focus on them when they are not meant to be focused on. So my advice and challenge to you number one podcast listeners is to focus in on what is happening at the moment. Shut out the outside noise and the stresses from the outside. If you're spending time at home, you're watching TV, just focus on doing that. Don't worry about what else is going on. If something's bothering you, focus on what's good and step away from it for a second and be present in the moment and not anywhere else but present. And that's my too much sense for you this week. And that is also the end of another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That's right, don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. Week off or not, it's still the number one podcast in your headphones. I've been your host, Premal of the Play Call Network. You know the drill. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell that friend to tell another friend, and please check out all of our other incredible podcasts from the Play Call Network, and we'll talk to you next time.